Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Watch Pals. My name's Chris. This week, we watched the Japanese comedy horror film House from 1977. Before we get into that, I want to introduce the panel pals, starting with Brian. Brian starts with B. What else starts with B, Brian?
Bobbing for apples.
Welcome to the show.
You put me on the spot, man. That's messed up. That's
we also
fun,
have Jeff. Jeff, welcome to the show. Jeff starts with J. What else starts with J, Jeff?
Jabroni, which is what you are, you son of a bitch.
And Jordan. Jordan also starts with J. Jordan, what else starts with J?
Jagoff.
Oh, we got him.
We'll see yins later.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. This week, Brian's going to be driving the ship.
What starts with C, Chris?
Yeah.
Cake.
What's your favorite kind of cake?
Chocolate cherry cake with no dairy in it.
What's your favorite song by the band Cake?
The leather jacket one?
Yeah.
Is
Short
that
skirt.
Cake?
Long jacket.
Okay.
Leather jacket.
Leather jacket.
No. Is there more songs? I don't know.
Yeah, they have a couple.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's going the distance. That one.
Brian, you told us to watch the movie House. Why
I
did you
did.
pick the movie House?
Well, the movie House, well, first, I don't even know where to start with this one. This was part of the Criterion or Criterion collection, however you want to say it, but they like picked like the greatest film. Is it? How do you say that properly?
It's Criterion. I looked it up.
Criterion collection?
Because I said Criterion, and I was like,
Criterion.
Criterion the Transformer.
From planet Anus.
I just say Criterion because of the Burnout series.
Oh yeah, they made that too. Another part of EA. They're making Need for Speed.
Hold on.
Battlefield.
Jordan was trying to say something, and everyone talked over him. Jordan, I want to hear what you were saying.
Let's forget it.
It's a Transformer, he said. I heard him.
It's past.
But they picked like the greatest films of all time from all different mediums, and House was one of the films in that collection, and the poster always caught my eye because it's a very neon orange cat, or it's an image of a cat that's in the form of a house, a scary house. So
yeah,
it's like that painting.
So yeah, it's the painting that's like the main cover of the movie art, like the movie poster art. But so that caught my eye, and then I watched this movie years ago, and this movie is such a it's musical. It's weirdly, I don't even call it scary. It's not scary. It's not even gory. It's barely violent. It's like Looney Tunes violence. Weird audio cues, weird visual cues, weird story. Kind of a mirror image of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarves kind of characters before we get into the whole plot thing. But
wait, what?
Yeah, like
what?
Think of the Seven Dwarves.
That makes sense with the names that they're
all
given.
the characters, yeah. So we'll get into like what the characters' names are because they're like the main characters of the story. But this is like a kind of like a weird fairy tale from Japan in the 70s. And yeah, it's one of those movies that stuck with me after I watched it. So I wanted to see what you guys thought of it. I know Jeff had seen it prior to me recommending it, but I know Chris and Jordan hadn't seen this film. So I just wanted you guys to check this out. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought of this film. So
yeah, the first time I saw it actually was with you and other Jeff when I forget where we were. We were in Ohio to see like Andrew WK or something. I forget.
Oh, well, that's when we watched it.
That's the first time I saw it. That's where you showed me it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then ever since then, I've been like, okay, now I know what this is. And then I showed other people. I showed my girlfriend, and we watched it actually last year, I think, and then or a year or two ago, not that long ago. And then we just watched it again for this.
I'll tell you, I had a range of emotions in this, and I'm saying this now because I want to call it out throughout your explanation, your recap of the movie. At times, I was confused, angered, delighted, and disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Those four emotions just ran through me the entire movie individually, not all at the same time.
Right. At different points.
It was a very wild ride, but I'll explain that as we go.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Jordan, did you have anything to say about this movie? Is there anything going
I knew
into
nothing about it. Nothing about it.
Yeah, like you know, any kind of context about it.
I knew it was going to be weird. So I briefly looked it up, a little bit about it up on the old interweb, and I just saw that. And Brian, I think you said this before, that the director's daughter had a lot to do with some of these like plot points or like some of the scenes and stuff like that, which totally makes sense after watching it.
Two fun little facts about this movie before we get into the plot, but the director was a commercial director in Japan in the 70s before he made this. So he never made any kind of feature film before he made this film, or at least nothing big, I should say. But he mostly worked on commercials. And the reason I say that is because when you watch this movie, there's a lot of like weird visual cues that in the 70s, maybe even for then, were like kind of like oddball. So you see a lot of different like visual tricks in this movie, like reverse film, like people disappearing, flash, like weird, like strobe flashing, that kind of thing.
They love the opacity filter to have two films layered over each other, which I thought was like something wrong with my computer at times.
They freeze frame randomly at times.
I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was watching remotely with my girlfriend, and at one part she was like, "I think it's skipping. Pause it." And I was like, "No, it's just supposed to do that."
I thought the same thing.
If you're talking about the part where the film frame rate changes at some point,
Yep. Yeah.
So that, it's not your set. If you're watching this film, it wasn't your copy, most likely. That's just how the film was. So
I do think it's interesting because he was tasked with making a Jaws-like movie, apparently. And that's, I mean, I don't know where that went, but
I guess they tasked him with making like a monster type movie, and then he just went to his daughter for inspiration. Like, what would you do for like a scary movie or like a haunted house movie or whatever she came up with? But that's
apparently
the concept.
She told him she had a fear that her mirror was going to eat her or something like that.
Yeah. And that's actually, there's some visual themes in this film that actually match up with that he followed. So,
yeah.
One thing I was wondering about this now, Brian, I don't know if you can answer this question, but what was the movie industry like in Japan in the 70s, you know, like at this point in time? Because this is like, I don't know if it was like all the movies were kind of like using these types of effects and stuff. It was just a weird, I don't know what's going on in the movie industry in general, I guess in the 70s though, so.
Well, I don't think like the way the whole tone of this movie, the whole reason this movie stuck with me, just because of its odd tone and like the way it looks and the way it sounds and everything like that. I don't think there were many movies like this, and I don't think there are many movies to this day like this. As far as like,
right, yeah,
because you can't. I can't think of another like even fun haunted house movie or scary movie that has this kind of feel to it. There's nothing even like storybook or fairy tale that would match up to this in a modern setting. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
Chris, you might remember this. I think our friend Aaron had it. It was a really weird Japanese movie, and like
Ichi
the ghost
Killer?
like hops. I don't think it was Ichi the Killer.
Okay.
You remember the ghost that would like hop?
No.
I'll have to find this. It reminds me of that a little bit. I don't know if this is true or not, but the director said that this was the first Japanese film to use video effects with like chroma key effect type things. So I don't know if that's true or if he was just saying that, but
like green screen, blue screen type stuff. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, they like drew over top of things on some parts, which was kind of cool.
The one at the end is very rough.
Yeah, at least some of them. Yeah.
You could definitely see that, maybe just because of the high def.
I mean, some of them are very rough. I mean, this is 1977, but...
Yeah, but also, I was wondering, the reason I say that is because, like, in the 70s, was it more of was, like, anime? Like, it seems like this could have been an anime movie, especially given the time.
I read that he made the same story a manga before it came out.
Okay.
Like, I guess he was tasked with, like, promoting this a lot. And it was, let's see. He produced several successful projects based on the story, a commercially successful manga and radio drama, and then spun off a number of product tie-ins before the film was ever even released. So he really kind of went ham with it, I guess. Really did the gamut.
Rode the train on it.
Yeah.
All right, well, Brian, you want to lead us into the recap here of House?
Sure. Well... where to start? So the movie opens up with some title cards that have the image of the house, and the giant, I believe, the mouth eating the mouth eating the title that spits out a hand and has an eyeball in it in the word O. So that cuts to a shot of two girls in what looks to be a science lab at school, just like taking photographs of each other. You kind of meet the main characters, the two of the main characters here, two teenage girls. One's named Gorgeous, so called for her looks, her beauty, and everything, right? And the other girl is named Fantasy, because I don't know if she lives in the fantasy in her mind or what the exact reality of it, but that's, again, these characters in this film, kind of like they're kind of like the seven dwarves, because their names match their personalities or what their major personality is, right? So
like stereotype.
Again, yeah, right. Well, yeah, exactly. They're there, but it's like, I guess they stereotyped them in the sense that these are what teenage girl stereotypes would have been for the story, maybe, or just in general. So, anyway, they're walking down the hallway. They're talking to the basketball coach, and they're saying, "Well, we're getting ready for summer vacation. Or we heard you're getting married." There's little subtle hints about marriage and parents in this film. I don't know if you guys noticed that, because as Gorgeous and Fantasy are leaving the school, they're Gorgeous going to her house to meet with her father, who's back from I think he's a composer, I believe. He works on like film scores. They drop a little subtle hint, like he worked on a
he's in Italy.
Yeah, Morricone movie, an Ennio Morricone movie. Yeah. So he's like, I was better than him, or better than the musician on that. That's like such a weird like fact drop on this. But
so when I found out that like his daughter gave him like some ideas for this, like, do you think his daughter is supposed to be Gorgeous?
The main character?
Yeah. I hope not.
Well, I wonder. I hope not.
Yeah.
To a degree.
He's in film, and his daughter, he's in film just like in real life, and his daughter's like wishing him to be home and like spend more time with him.
Yeah,
so, like,
I think he took her perspective. I think he used the director of this film used his daughter's perspective for, like, if not the main teenage character, just a lot of the teenage girl themes in this movie, because he was looking for inspiration of what would be, if not terrifying, like what themes he could use for this haunted house movie. So
I think it's worth mentioning too, when she just visually in this movie, I think a ton of the background like skies are just paintings. And they look really strange.
The whole movie is very dreamlike.
Yeah, it's like almost like a soap opera-y kind of in some parts.
Well, that's why this movie always like it's crazy every time I watch it, because every scene feels like almost like a dream. Like, if it's either the music tone or the way they're talking or the way they cut, like, right. Well, just so she's talking with her father, and the reveal of basically she lost her mother at some point. I forget how she lost her mother, if she passed away or if she just left.
Yeah, I don't know if they said it.
Yeah,
I don't know if they went into that, but her mother is gone, and her father reveals that she has a new stepmother. And the way they reveal a new stepmother is very dramatic. Is that she comes out and it's like there's blowing wind, and her scarf is like blowing in the wind, and there's so many cuts to that her stepmother is like this like dreamlike being, like she's like the perfect mother almost.
Angelic.
Very angelic.
Yeah, because every time they show her, there's always that wind, and like her scarf's always blowing, her hair's always blowing. She's like very soft spoken and like,
and she's just like, I'm here to provide for you, that kind of like mentality. And the daughter is pushing back. Basically, she runs away from the stepmother and runs to her room, starts talking to a photo of her original mother and saying like, I miss you. I hate what my father's doing. We're going to get back at dad somehow.
I think we've got to assume the mom is dead, because I think some of this stuff wouldn't work if she wasn't. Like, just go hang out with your mom then, like, why is this person replacing your mom instead of just, They don't,
does the aunt bring it up later? I can't remember. They don't really talk
I don't think
about it.
the
They
aunt
say
brings
she
it
kind
up
of looks
directly.
like your mom, right?
Yeah, she's talking about her in a past tense type of way. I think it's just insinuated that she's dead.
So it's mostly insinuated. Okay, so then we'll just say that she's dead. So
I'm
she's gone.
They say that at some point, but
and then Gorgeous does a little twirl and instantly transforms to a new outfit. And they start to cut to the school scene where they reveal all the characters, all of her friends at the school. And I got to pull up the list so I can get everybody's name here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So we have Gorgeous, we have Fantasy, we have Professor, who's with the glasses, very highly academic, right? You got Melody, who's the musician. You got Kung Fu, who's the martial artist and athletic of the group.
Kung Fu is the best.
Yeah, Kung Fu rules. Mac, who just eats everything. I'm assuming a Big Mac, right?
I don't know. Yeah, mac and cheese. Who knows?
Or mac and cheese could be that.
Well,
yeah.
no, that's the thing when they give it. They ask like why the aunt asks why she's called Mac, but they still don't really explain why. So I was like, Big Mac, Mac truck. Like I don't understand the.
They just don't.
Also, she's hardly even. She's like chubby face. Like how? Like what the hell, man?
That's probably because she just.
Why would you hang out with these people?
That's her pals.
It's high school, bro.
That's her friend. I guess. Yeah. She embraces it though. Good for Mac.
And then I said Fantasy, who is the daydreamer. That's her thing. So she's a daydreamer. That's why she's called Fantasy. So Gorgeous reveals to her friends that she wants them all to come to her aunt's house in the countryside with her.
Well, they were supposed to go on some other trip.
Yeah, what trip were they
They were
supposed
supposed to go somewhere with their teacher.
Mr. Togo.
Is it Mr. Togo? And one of them has a major crush on Mr. Togo.
Fantasy
Which one
does.
is
I think it's
Fantasy does.
She lives in a fantasy world.
I think you left out Sweet, or did you bring her up?
No, he didn't bring her up.
Oh, no,
Sweet.
I'm sorry. No, Sweet. Sorry, Sweet. That's the one who's very, just sweet. She's just a
Scared
sweet.
and everything, too.
Scared.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Oh, wait. No, she's the one who likes to clean. I don't think she's a scared one. I think Fantasy's a scared one.
Fantasy's scared because basically, I'm skipping ahead, but the aunt does in front of her, knowing that no one will believe her. So she gets scared the whole movie.
Because she's too sweet to admit anything, or they don't believe her. She's just too
we're
innocent.
talking about fantasy.
Fantasy, because she's the daydreamer.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So they think she's making it up. But also, they're supposed to go on vacation with their teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they beg him to
closed?
go to the aunt's house because that trip gets canceled.
Because it's his sister's having a baby.
Yeah. And they can't go away to his house
yeah.
for the vacation.
So then
weird.
that will go back into the musical number of them getting on the train to their aunt's house.
Oh.
Which
That stupid song, man.
So you didn't like the song?
No. Not
As
at all.
long as cherries are meant for eating, or whatever.
Something about fish in the sea, and I was like, and they just kept
Nobody
playing it over and
else.
over.
And there's some
It's
weird
like-
cuts in this. Go ahead, Jeff.
The train is drawn to. It's very
Well, yeah,
almost,
it's all
Beatles-ish.
animated. Yeah, like Yellow
Yeah.
Submarine. Mr. Togo, he falls into a bucket with his butt and falls down a set of stairs and twirls around
Mr.
like Looney
Togo
Tunes.
sucks.
Yeah, so I was going to say that when I said these different things that are these range of emotions, every time he's on the screen, I'm I'm disturbed and I'm angered. He just sucks.
They're he's so manly.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, he just sucks. And
But he's just a goofball.
He's
Yeah.
just a turd.
So they all get on the train. And also, I didn't talk about the cat yet.
Oh yeah.
So
Blanche
is the white cat that is is it? So wait a minute.
The cat disappears in
Yeah.
Gorgeous's room.
Right. But then it's when they get to the aunt's house, there's a bunch of pictures of the cat.
Right, it's the aunt's cat, and she basically sends it to kind of, I don't know.
Is that
She
the
said
same?
she
They don't
sent
really.
it-
Yeah, they don't say that directly, but yeah, she shows up beforehand at Gorgeous's, and then she's on the train with them.
Right.
She's just there too. She jumps in the window, and they're like, "Oh, Blanche, there you are."
It's like an omen basically, because
Yeah,
the cat
and
has a big part later on in the film.
It could
too.
barely open and close doors. They keep pointing that out too.
Right.
And they said, if a cat can, open a door, it's
Or close
just
a door.
If it could close it, it's a witch
a
or
witch.
something.
Yeah. And they're all laughing about it, like ha 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 ha. Ha.
Yeah, and you don't know that the aunt sent the cat until later on.
Right.
So you just
Right.
think it's a stray cat in the meantime.
Or like it's her cat or something. Yeah.
So whenever the teacher falls on the steps and gets his butt stuck in a bucket,
Sure.
he can't go. He's supposed to go with them to the aunt's house. He's supposed to travel with them, go hang out at the aunt's house, which is like, first off, insane to begin with. Second, he gets his butt stuck in that bucket when he falls on the steps, and he's just like, there's like this stop motion animation thing of him like going around the street, almost getting hit by a car on this bucket. He's like sliding around the street like some weirdo. It makes
it's super silly.
It's so dumb.
Well, so if this scene between that and the train and the song and the animation, if that doesn't set the tone for you for the rest of this film.
But that's the thing. I don't know what the tone at this point. I'm like, I don't know what the tone is.
Right.
Is this a horror movie? Is this a comedy? Is it like trying to be over the top? And it's not, or is it like trying to be funny, but it's not, but it's like, it's so bad it's funny kind of thing. So it's like, at this point, I'm like, I want to see what's going on. Like, I'm going to finish this. I don't like it right now, but I'm going to finish it. Yeah.
There's this thing, like when they get on the train, there's like a vignette like around the cat. Like she grabs the cat like at his chair and it like just.
You mean like the little spotlight, how they like zoom in on it?
Yeah, it's all black. And then it does that on her at some point whenever Mr. Togo originally shows up at the school. They do that. She's like outside the group and they're all talking to him and she's outside of it.
They do that.
There's these weird points
thing
at the movie where they do that. And it's just really, I don't understand.
As it's happening, is like, I don't understand why they're doing those little vignette things, but is it because they're showing there's a relation between the cat and Gorgeous, maybe? Like there's something going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
There's something there too, and there's something
foreshadowing
in
maybe?
like the director's subtext of this film. Like what basically he was going over, and I don't want to get like I'll wait till I get into that later, because there's a whole thing about relationships and how people make and break them over time. And as they're going to the aunt's house, she starts telling the story of what happened with her aunt. And they kind of show it in that old like cinematic they show like the old cinema reel from like 1920s. It's animated, and they basically play back a flashback of what happened with her aunt and the husband. The husband her suitor was to be her husband, and he got called into war and basically got lost. World War II. He never returned, and they just assumed him for dead. And so at some point, her sister came over to get married I'm assuming they were living at the same place. Her aunt was present at her sister's wedding and was very, you could tell like she was very upset still, waiting for her husband.
Yeah, and the dad's a doctor. Is that right? The dad's a doctor?
Their dad, yeah. They say that later because of the skeleton in the house.
Yeah, because they have this
that's right.
Live at a big, huge mansion, so explain like why they have such a big house and the wealth and all that stuff.
So they get on they're explaining that they get on the bus. They go over to the they're walking on the trail.
Well, they get off the bus in the middle of a field and just like, we got to find the house now, which is
really
insane.
Quick. I know this might be like kind of a touchy subject, but they show at like as Gorgeous like explaining like the family history and everything that happened. The very last shot of like this old timey thing, they show it like the atomic bomb. I was like, oh, that's oh wow.
So I'll just get into this now. So the reason that the director is very anti-war, like he's an activist in that, and at least in his films, but his messages. He made this film. He made an underlying message in this film that he lost a lot of friends and family to Hiroshima. And
wasn't he there?
I don't know if he was there or not.
I think I remember writing he was there, but he lost, like you said, lost a bunch of friends and family because of that.
And because of that, a big theme he wanted to underline in this film, aside from being like a scary movie or whatever, was that the relationships you make and break over time, or that you lose, even if they're out of your control, or whatever message he was trying to receive. But that's the reason he threw in the whole World War II and that imagery of that bomb, because he actually lost people close to him. And so, because the aunt lost who was to be her husband, that's where he drew inspiration from. So
that makes sense.
So, I don't know. So I don't want to skip too far ahead. They have that whole montage through the forest where they do the cuts of their faces as they're walking through.
Oh, they're like floating in the like feathered it just looks fake almost. It looks like you would do that intentionally to look bad, right? Nowadays.
Do you think that was intentional, or do you think that like they knew it was going to look like crap?
No, I think the director was just trying like all these different visual techniques that he learned in like commercial film work or whatever. I think he was just trying whatever idea. I don't know if he was trying whatever idea would stick, but I think he was trying a lot of different things that he learned through commercial work that may not have been applied through films before, at least at that time. And that's why you see all these weird like photography shots and everything.
That makes sense. Because you can see that, you definitely can see that now that you mention that, I'm like, scrubbing through the movie, you're like, oh yeah, that's a total commercial shot of like her face and stuff.
Right, and there's like you said, like the weird, not weird. I mean, they are weird, but the backdrops that seem almost not real. Everything's almost like art, like like whether that was a creative choice or just something that he learned, he kind of applied both in this film. That's why it stuck with me after watching this, because no matter what you think of this movie, I think like the imagery sticks with you after watching this movie, because the next day we were talking about it. I
think it's great that the bus, they're like in front of, when the bus pulls away, you can see they're in front of like a backdrop, there's like a poster there, or like a billboard, and you're like, that's pretty creative. And then that comes back later.
That was like a very Wes Anderson kind of thing, it seems like.
But it seems like it's a good marker for showing where like the teacher is at some point later in the movie. You're like, oh, he's close because he's there.
So as they go through the forest, they come across the watermelon stand man, who they're trying to find their aunt's place. They ask him for directions. He has a watermelon stand. And he's saying, oh, you look like your aunt, especially in the eyes. I could see it in the eyes. And he points it over there. Just go that way. Thank you. And then he's like, the aunt. Or does he say she will be very pleased?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he points, though, it's just like, he points and it circles. He's like, the house. Like, it's the voice.
Oh. Yeah, it's a very ominous shot.
He's basically like the typical, like this doomsayer almost that you would see in like in like an American horror film where like they stop at a rundown gas station or something.
Yeah, don't go that way.
Like the over the top type of guy.
You're all doomed.
But he's extra because he's just selling weird watermelons and
circle watermelons.
Chris, I thought he was a Kappa for a second, because like when they first show his face,
yeah, you're right.
There's a weird eyes and like tongue thing. I'm like, oh, is he a Kappa?
A Kappa is a folklore
a Japanese demon?
Japanese deity, yeah. He's kind of like a turtle frog who like farted on people. So I thought that's what this was.
Oh yeah, I can see him.
So they finally get to their aunt's. Gorgeous and the girls finally get to her aunt's place. They arrive and they see that her aunt is in a wheelchair, and she's petting the cat, Blanche.
Yeah, the cat like runs through the door ahead of them and immediately into her lap.
And she's sitting there. That's right. So
yeah.
She's introducing herself and they're basically just going, she said, I thought you were going to be alone, but I'm glad you brought all your friends here with you.
She looks like Morpheus.
Is it the glasses?
Yeah, it's the glasses, man. It's those glasses.
Real quick, before we talk any more about that, before they open the door and see the ant, they're like outside waiting, and like this like super fake eagle swoops down or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, they give her a gift, a watermelon from the vendor, and they go inside, and she turns on her wonderful chandelier, to which becomes an immediate danger. And that's like, actually, because Jeff shared this last night, but that musical cue that happens anytime there's an action scene or a danger scene.
So sick of that stupid piano song.
That piano song stinks.
The main
the
theme.
Kung Fu song is great though.
The one that goes doodle-doo, doodle-doo.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Oh, no, not that. Not
Jordan is talking about this one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the one that melody plays. It's so annoying.
They basically, so they turn on the chandelier. It's this like crystal chandelier. Then all of a sudden, the music kicks in and the chandelier starts dropping crystal daggers all over the room.
Kills a lizard.
Kills a lizard instantly that just showed up.
Kung Fu's like chopping him out of the air and like, wow, like kick, like no problem. I got this.
Anytime they show her do that stuff, it's awesome.
Yeah. And also that song, like I looked it up because like this song's pretty cool. And then I listened to it all the way through. And it like, almost like reminds me of like YYZ from Rush a little bit at some points. I was like, this song rules.
It's very jazzy.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
You also forgot to mention that the cat, you get the first sense of the cat is actually magical because whenever they take a picture all together, she knocks the camera out of her hand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and the cat's eyes flash. So the cat eyes flash green.
Anything's flash. The other stuff flashes green too whenever they're doing something evil. Or like casting
and
a spell.
The green thing was also an anti-war message from the bomb, like nuclear fallout kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah. This is all stuff I read in like a film essay after the fact. So so they're walking through. They dodge all the crystals, and they're still doing their tour. And basically, as she's walking through the house, she says, "I just get hungry. I get startled. I get hungry when I'm startled," which is like these. She keeps dropping like weird hunger hints. The aunt,
and that she's in a wheelchair and stuff. All the girls are like, "Oh, we can help out." So basically, Gorgeous was like, "Hey, come up to my aunt's broken down mansion, and let's do chores for her all
the
day.
Summer.
Cook and clean the whole time.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
And then, hey, our teacher will show up and hang out with us too."
Right, but they couldn't have been happier about it. Honestly, like they're just like thrilled to be there. And that's another thing too is that I think
they
the
didn't
director.
have the internet. What else are they gonna do?
Well, the director wanted them to be so oblivious to what was going on around them, but not to the viewer. Like the viewers, like clearly they keep walking into all these traps or like these weird things, but they're just like laughing it off and they have no idea that this is silly, that kind of thing. So
yeah, like the second you see your camera fly in the air and then your hat fly off and stuff, and you're just like okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Whoopsie doodles.
Yeah.
Well, I think also that's why they did a good job with using fantasy to like kind of get the story going, like of what's going on in the background, because they wouldn't believe fantasy because everybody's so oblivious to everything.
But also, like, there's one sane person who's like, I can see something weird's happening, but like the fact that she's a daydreamer, no one's going to believe her.
Right. And then professors, like, there's like things, the professor girl is like, no, it's typical. Like, she's trying to explain it with science.
Yeah.
Right. They each have their own, like, they're sticking to their personalities, basically. Like, what the athletic Kung Fu is like stepping in when she needs to defend, or like kicking through doors to open them and things like that.
I actually read that they were kind of supposed to be like stereotypes, making fun of the horror genre a little bit. Like these are like the typical people in like a horror type movie. And for 1977, I'm like, oh man, it was even happening back then, I guess, because those tropes still like happen today, right? You've got like the sporty one and the smart one, and then like the one who's just, I don't know,
so you have the Spice
all
Girls
the time. Yeah.
The junk, the stoner.
Yeah. And so as they're doing the tour through the house, the aunt says, you could store the watermelon in the fridge, but it'd be better if you could store it in the well outside. We can keep it cool in the well.
The fridge is broken.
They said the fridge was broke. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because she said she talks to all of her appliances.
Yeah, and one of the appliances like shakes back as she says hello, Mr. Oven, or something like that. You guys notice that? It like bobbed up and down. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Before they go into the kitchen, though, you have them in the room with the piano, and they see the skeleton.
That's the doctor's office.
Yeah, but that plays a big role in this movie.
So the skeleton has one eyeball, which I don't know, like, did one just fall out, or they just left it in? Or
my theory is the skeleton is actually her husband.
Oh, okay.
That she just left in there?
No, not like for real. Like he's haunting that fake skeleton.
Oh, I see, like the spirit.
Yeah, because it's very clearly like a medical skeleton.
So that's right. So she says that her husband used to be a doctor, and that's why he has a skeleton around.
I thought, was it the husband or was it the father?
Oh,
That's where I got confused. I thought the husband was a doctor too, or
no, the husband. Wait a minute, maybe the husband might have been the doctor because he still got called to war.
Yeah, but I thought the dad might have been too. I can't remember.
I think she said her dad was a doctor.
Whatever the case is, the skeleton was in the room.
So they get startled by the skeleton, who like plays a role in like a lot of different scenes because he's always in the background. But which I loved.
Always.
I thought it was hilarious.
They go into the kitchen and they go to use the fridge, but it's broken. So they have to store the watermelon that they were originally going to store in the fridge in the well outside. So all the girls and the aunt go outside to the well and store the watermelon in the cold well. They break off and the sun's starting to set and they're having dinner, but Max says, can we get the watermelon for dessert or at some point during dinner? And Max says, I'll go get it. And the girls are all just hanging out and cleaning up and Mac never returns with the watermelon. So
the aunt wasn't even at dinner, right? The aunt never showed up for dinner.
She shows up,
and like they even said to Gorgeous, like, why isn't your aunt here? She's like, well, she's sleeping or something like that.
She's resting.
She's tired, or
that's right,
because she's out in the sun all day.
Because she mentioned earlier she gets very tired when she's hungry or whatever
in the sun.
Yeah, she gets to stay out of the sun. She actually like splashes the water from the reflection of the sun earlier in the well. Fantasy goes to find what happened with Mac and the watermelon and is pulling up the rope. They used a rope to lower the watermelon into the well, pulling up the rope, getting distracted, talking to the girls behind her back. As she's pulling it up and grabs what she thinks is the watermelon, it turns out to be Mac's head. And not only is it Mac's head is alive. And it's
it sure is.
Yeah.
This is when I liked the movie. I was like, okay, all right, I like this. Just because how
now are you getting why? Now do you understand?
Yeah, the head bites Fantasy's ass and then it pukes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, it does that little twirl in the air too.
Yeah.
Like it floats. It jumps up. It laughs at her. Jumps up in the air, floats, does a twirl, bites her in the pukes out blood, then dips back in the well.
Was that a blue screen for that?
I mean, yeah, green screen, blue screen, yeah.
They probably just had her in like a full like suit, and then just painted her head up and just cut out the rest.
Yeah, so you actually didn't see her die. It's just
it was off screen.
Missing. Yeah, the aunt's missing and Mac is missing. So
there was also a scene whenever they were they were going to get the watermelon before that, where her aunt says like she doesn't like being in the sun because she's tired. It makes her really tired, and so that's whenever they get this like a thing where you're like, is she a vampire? Like that. It's kind of what I was thinking. They're like, oh, she's a vampire. Like, is that type of thing is happening here? Which is like can lead you into like, well, no, it's not. I don't know if that's what it actually turns into, but
they drop like little subtle hints. Like you don't know what exactly is wrong with her. Like right after she's eaten the watermelon after they pull it out of the well, because I should say Fantasy runs back to tell them that there was a head in the well and it was Mac's head and all this stuff. And they're like, we'll go check it out. And of course they pull it out of the well and it's just the watermelon. So they go to eat the watermelon. And as Fantasy is eyeing up the ant, no one else is looking at the ant. The ant gives her a little mouth eye. She like
that was cool.
She's chewing the really watermelon, cool. then shows her a third eyeball in her mouth, like a little like peekaboo. And Fantasy gives a little like what, and then of course hides it away. So none of the other girls notice this.
I actually read that her head transformed into the watermelon, and then they all ate her head.
Right. So the whole idea of where the ant is getting the power is that she's eating these girls, or the house is eating them.
Right.
Whatever the evil power is, right? So
that's the one thing that was confused about, like especially towards the end, but we'll get into that a little later. But like I wasn't sure what the hell was actually the evil. It sounds at this point the ant is eating the girls for power.
At this point, yeah.
Power or survival or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, because you notice as soon as she eats the watermelon, she's no longer in the wheelchair, right? And then she just keeps getting more young and more like energy,
more agile,
and just look, yeah.
But then she just disappears.
Well, toward the end, right?
We'll get into that.
Yeah. So
Jordan.
They're cleaning up dinner. There's a quick shot of one of the sinks turning to blood really quick while they're cleaning the bowls. And I think they're just kind of all splitting up at this point.
They're really excited about doing housework and cleaning up.
Yeah, they're all doing their chores. They're psyched about chores.
Well, wait. The blood sink gets drank though. Like they don't even look at the water.
Oh, that's right. They don't even
like,
notice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kung Fu heads outside, and she's just saying, "I love the outdoors and the countryside," and gets ready to chop some wood, while Gorgeous is taking a bath, and I think it does that weird like hair thing to her in the bath.
Yeah.
Like
reverse
the ring almost.
Oh,
yeah. Like something grabs her hair, or some hair grabs her, or something like that. But something grabs her back while she's in the bath, and then
This is when Sweet kind of goes out looking for. She ends up in like that room with like the doll
not yet.
mattresses.
Yeah, no, it is.
Is it
and
around
then
that time?
She meets the cat. Yeah.
Okay, so at this time though, Kung Fu is outside shopping, and that's when the wood blocks come to life.
That's right.
And the wood blocks are just attacking and flying at Kung Fu, and she's just kicking them off. And I forget the line she drops there. she's just psyched about it. Basically, that's the thing. Is like she literally just experienced a paranormal event, and she just like kicked out of some wood blocks, but it's no big deal. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really like it's like they don't really, none of the characters really acknowledge that the madness that's going on. Except
she's like, I must be crazy.
So Fantasy and Prof are cleaning the kitchen. The ant walks in, and Fantasy notices that the ant disappears into the fridge and starts freaking out about it. But then Prof is just like, what are you freaking out about? And closes the fridge, to which the ant jumps up in the rafters and starts dancing around. And this is when, it really starts taking off, I guess you could say.
But like you don't really see the girls don't see her dancing in the rafters, but she's like looking at the screen.
You're right. She's like breaking the fourth wall.
She's winking. Yeah. She's winking at the audience, like, "Isn't this fun?" or something. I don't know.
Because the girls are still in the kitchen in the background, but she's in like the foreground. It's a really cool scene. A really interesting way they set it up. I actually really like that part a lot.
Gorgeous is taking a bath, and she has a weird hair thing that kind of grabs her from behind. So, post dancing in the rafters, the ant is also dancing with the skeleton. Chewing on a hand, like just munching, throwing goldfish into so she throws one goldfish into a bowl, and then she takes a bite out of half of one and just throws it in.
It's still alive, like swimming.
It's still alive, swimming. And then the cat starts to dance on, that's probably one of my favorite parts. The cat dances on the piano, and it starts putting the meows in with the soundtrack. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, and it's like backing it up back and forth, like the film is just being like forward and
reversed.
Backwards.
Yeah.
And that's a song I can't stand. But that part I thought was funny because they did the song where the cat was doing the meowing.
The main theme.
We were around the time where Sweet goes into that like room with the doll.
So all that happened at the same time. Actually, Sweet saw that before the wood blocks, but nothing really happened. She just saw the doll in the room.
Now you're at the part where this is like one of the parts I hate in this movie or don't really like because it's way too long. Where Gorgeous gets out of the shower or the bath and she's just walking around the house.
Oh, you mean where she walks through the staircase? She walks up the staircase. She walks to sit down in front of the mirrors, and then she sees the photo of her aunt's husband.
Yeah,
in front of the mirrors, and then
wait. Right before that, there's a scene where who was it? Someone has to go to the bathroom.
No, that didn't happen yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm trying to because there's so that's why it's so hard to keep this organized because there's so many random scenes because all these girls are splitting up throughout the house and it's like they're each having their own little adventure and so it's like it's not really structured in any kind of way. It's just kind of happening.
I was gonna say, Jordan, I think what you're talking about is right now. Melody sits down at the piano, and then they're still doing Gorgeous is still putting the makeup on.
Yeah, she's doing like the brushes and the lipstick, and then Melody is starting to play the piano downstairs.
Yeah, and Sweet's in the room with the doll, so they all kind of are
in their own spots.
I don't know if you want to call them like trials, but they're all basically dealing with something that's playing to their interests, kind of, I guess. Like
that's true. Nicknames. Yeah, right, because Gorgeous is like doing the makeup in the mirror. Getting her
Melody's playing the piano, blah blah blah.
They're looking for somebody, and I think it was Melody's like, I have to go to the bathroom, but they cut to her face that's kind of off to the side, but she holds her stomach and like looks at the camera and like a really bizarre smile on her face, which I thought was really funny. So that's all. Well,
right here is whenever Gorgeous is putting the makeup on, she starts falling apart, and it's the weird fire scene.
Well, she sees her aunt in the reflection of herself, and then like also like she has like vampire teeth, as gorgeous as vampire teeth randomly, and then she becomes like the fire starter after that. She like just becomes I would say at that point the aunt or whatever has like, so if the aunt has become evil or a witch or whatever the case may be, whatever that entity has entered Gorgeous at this point.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we don't see Gorgeous for a while. We kind of see the other girls dealing with all the craziness, and they were looking for Mac, who is, dead right now. She was the first to go. And then they're all kind of dealing with this house getting crazier and crazier.
Melody's still playing the piano. Sweet gets the door locked on her. So they do that reiteration of the cat thing. Only a witch cat can close a door. Oh, and by the way, while Melody is playing the piano, you can see it's starting to amp up because like the keys are starting to like light up on their own. Like they're literally like like illuminating. So something's about to go down.
And she hurts her finger, and they actually put a Band-Aid on it too when they all meet her in the piano room.
Okay, I forgot about that. So
she's playing the piano and the skeleton's dancing in the background. while the lights going crazy and the keys, and the cat comes in and does that spell eyeball.
Well, yeah, the cat's doing the green eye flashes. That's when stuff's about to go down. And so the cat makes its way over to Sweet, and while Sweet's looking at the doll, it closes the door and starts what I would call the pillow fight.
Oh god.
So
this is a weird scene. So like they keep cutting back. So like you said, they did put she cut her finger, Melody cut her finger, so they put a Band-Aid on the meantime, but the girls go to help her, but Sweet is panicking because all these mattresses with all these feathers are attacking Sweet, and like there's like a weird like under glass angle of like these pillows crushing this girl. It's a very weird scene. But she was like up on a ladder, and then light hit her in the head, so she fell, and then all these things fell on her, and
knocking her around and things like that. So the girls heard somebody screaming, so they go to find her, and she's gone. So all that's left of her is her clothes and a bunch of mattresses.
Don't talk
and
about
feathers.
them.
Yeah.
Her don't talk about them.
Her what have yous.
One of them smelled it, which is weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
Like, oh,
yeah, that was who sniffed it? It was the one in the toilet you were just talking about, Jordan.
Melody.
Was it Melody? Yeah, she said toilet paper, please. So
right, with that weird hand scene, yeah.
It was just like inviting in. So
they find a naked doll.
Right. I don't know if it's implying that that's now Sweet or what, but the cat's right next to it.
And they just said, like, they did say, what's the cat doing in here? Like, are you, there's like carrying. Did they take the cat with them at this point, or did they just leave it there?
I know, but the cat did do the green eye thing when she was in the room, but before the mattresses started flying around.
So I think they go upstairs to check on Gorgeous at this point, the rest of the girls.
But Fantasy has a fantasy of Mr. Togo to come help them. Riding on a horse.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
and then,
boy.
Is this around the shot where he's like, they show he's in traffic? Because he's trying to get there in his little like buggy.
Not yet.
And some guy in a bus is yelling at him. He's like, get out of the way. He's like,
not
but
yet.
I thought that happened. Wait a
okay.
minute. But I thought the weird frame rate scene happened, and then they do the fantasy scene.
It happens right after the fantasy scene. I have it up right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So okay. After the Togo fantasy, they go upstairs to talk to Gorgeous, and Gorgeous is just acting very strange after the fire starter makeup scene, and it cuts to this like this is like a half. It's like the frame rate of the whole film moves at like 15 instead of 30. I guess you could say like half speed.
Right. This is where we thought it was like messed up. Oh crap.
Right.
It's like a dream sequence kind of thing. People they do this in movies a lot for like dreams.
And this scene kind of drags on a little bit because I think they were just kind of showing off the visual technique they were going for here, because there's like, we'll call the cops, and like, okay, yes, let's call the cops. And it's like 15 shots later, she says it's out of order after they zoom in like 5 times.
Yeah, this drives me insane.
So it's kind of a long scene, but then they cut outside to, oh wait, this is when the house starts freaking out, right?
Well, they tried to call the cops, and then she says she's going to go get the cops.
I'll
the
go
phone
get
doesn't
them.
work.
And then the house is. Then she goes outside and it's very foggy, and she
then
starts.
we see Mr. Toga in traffic. After
Okay.
that.
But the house closes up and locks them in.
Yeah.
And starts slamming all the doors and windows and everything. It starts like freaking out.
The traffic scene was funny because the guy in the bus behind Mr. Togo was like, "Move your car. You're causing traffic." He's like, "You don't see all the buses in front of us." And clearly, like, there's a traffic jam, but that guy behind Mr. Togo thought he was causing the traffic jam. I was like, I just thought it was silly and dumb.
He's like, the traffic's so heavy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just a little throwaway kind of thing there.
So they're just saying like, oh, this is like a horror movie. This is so strange. What are we going to do? They're wandering around the house. Eventually, they wind up back in the music room.
I was just saying they were following around the professor in a circle. She's trying to like figure out what's happening, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
What was the thing with Gorgeous, like, tossing around the weird balls out in the garden? Like the light balls? What the hell was that?
I had no
Yeah, I
idea what
don't
that
know.
was about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
that one I didn't decode. I didn't know what that was about.
I didn't understand that.
Melody sits back down at the piano, and who's with her down there? That's
They're all together, the 4 girls.
well, they're all together, but they split off at some point because Melody starts playing the piano, and then she gets like stuck on it with Fantasy trying to pull off of it.
Yeah, the other two went upstairs for something. I forget what. They're
They're just like exploring,
looking for
basically.
something.
Yeah. Now, when Melody is playing the piano and finally gets her fingers crushed, I should say.
Yeah.
So her fingers, half of her fingers are like chewed away and gone, but she's like kind of like happy about it. Or not happy, but I should say like surprised, not like scared.
She's not screaming, basically. It's not what you would expect the reaction to be.
Right. And then Fantasy is in the background, like crossing her eyes, like basically like a cartoon. And to which the piano eats Melody slowly alive.
Right,
And
it like eats her hand and then she screams and then it just like chomps her up.
it chomps her up. There's pieces of her like flying around the room, bouncing back and forth. She's
Yeah.
like looking at pieces of herself, commenting on them as they're dancing around.
And it's like a grand piano, so she's like inside the top part.
Oh yeah, flopping around in like
Yeah.
different pieces and everything. I think Fantasy at this point just falls back, and you don't. Does she just like pass out, or you don't see what happens to her at this point?
I think she passes out, yeah, because then they come back downstairs. Kung Fu like sees Melody's arm next to her, like picks it up and is like, oh.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause the arm falls in the fish bowl and like
Right.
it gets knocked over and there's like fish stuck to her.
So Kung Fu and Prof are upstairs, and they find, I think is it Sweet? Yeah, in the clock.
They come back down and find.
Well, they come
Sweet.
back down after. Well,
Yeah.
no. So I'm sorry. They do. Well, Kung Fu finds. I'm sorry. So they find Prof and Kung Fu find Gorgeous in that bridal gown, don't they, upstairs?
Yeah.
And she's in like full like kabuki makeup. I think she's on like
traditional Japanese.
traditional like Japanese
Garb.
wedding. Yeah, exactly. So, or it might just be like again a ritualistic type thing. But she just kind of walks outside and just ignores them. Basically says, I don't even know if she says anything.
She
Just kind
finds
of
a
walks
book.
out.
She drops the diary of the ant, yeah.
Okay, that has the cat on it.
Right.
And it says, and the diary says "Lonely Days" on it. That's what it says in the front of the diary. So Gorgeous walks out, and Prof and Kung Fu takes the light from Prof and follows Gorgeous into this room and finds this clock door with Sweet like inside of it.
Right. So she didn't become the
Evil doll.
Which doesn't make sense. I don't know why. She should have just been the doll, but whatever.
But she like it's like one of the coolest shots of the movie. I think is like the clock is like bleeding.
It
Down
is
the
cool.
front.
Like, yeah, like to be like ground up in clock gears is kind of
Or like just like that, or like either that she's being ground up, or like I'm just like stuck in the house now, like I'm part of it, that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, the girls run back downstairs and they find, like you said, the arm with a bunch of fingers missing next to Fantasy, but Melody's arm,
And the fingers are still on the piano playing.
and the fingers are
Yeah.
playing on the piano. The skeleton's like creeping behind the corner laughing or doing whatever he's doing.
That skeleton, man, that skeleton.
What a character. But
Yeah.
the girls run out of there and they carry Fantasy's still passed out, so they carry her out of there into the other room. They're giving her like tea or something. And they get the diary of that's right. They're gonna go through the diary soon of the aunt. But
yeah, Professor starts to read it and like try to make sense of what's happening.
Right. So there's a cut. So where Fantasy like looks over and it cuts back to like Togo eating is he eating like noodles?
Yeah. There's like a guy serving noodles or something.
So maybe like
It's
he
like
just
a ramen shop or something.
Yeah.
he just basically I think they're just showing like he's not gonna make it to help them out. You know what I mean?
Well, there's all this anticipation. He's
It's
going to
a
come and
bear.
save the day. He's like
Yeah.
the man. He's so manly. He's going to come rescue them the whole time. And I don't want to ruin anything, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
They keep implying that he's going to come and save the day, right?
Isn't there a bear working at the ramen shop?
I don't think he's working there. He's just like,
I think it's a statue.
yeah, it's just like a statue.
But
No, it was moving.
It was.
I think Togo.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weird
I think Mr. Togo is like it's like an anticipation thing. It's like showing how the passage of time of like he's gonna come and save them. You're like expecting him to be the big come in and save the day at the last minute, which I thought was a very, very good way of using a character like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they cut back to the house. Prof is going through the book saying like her aunt was lonely and, you know, just going through like the story of her aunt. And then all of a sudden cut to Gorgeous's head coming through like entirely through the right side of the screen.
Yeah, it's huge too.
Yeah, it's like using the green screen and basically like her eyes are like peeking through her head. Gorgeous's head and her eyeball starts revealing to the girls that her aunt died years ago and she's in her aunt's world. And her aunt was waiting for her fiance to return from World War II and that her spirit's still there waiting for her husband. And it feeds on unmarried girls who arrive at the house. So that's how her aunt survives because like she was just this tormented soul that her husband never arrived, that she just would, she could never live at peace basically, or her spirit could never be at peace, that she has to feed off the souls of girls that are unmarried to stay, I don't know if it's alive, but just stay in
Energy
existence.
to stay in our existence.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
something.
in this world,
But-
in this world.
There was also a line, and I don't know when the line was at some point, but it's like makes mention that there's no young girls in the town anymore, that they're in their village.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of weird line about that, like all the young girls have gone, and I can't feed anymore or something.
That was earlier on.
Okay.
But yeah. Like no one's around there anymore except for the watermelon guy.
Right.
And that's actually, you know what, and that makes a lot of sense in context with the story, because if the aunt sent the cat to get the Gorgeous to visit her house, whether that was to possess her or eat her or whatever the case was, right? She just ended up bringing her friends, so it was like a bonus for the aunt, right? Like she could just feed on all these innocent girls' souls, I guess you could say, right? So
More the merrier.
yeah, right. So, and this is when the house just starts going nuts. So the house does like this cool animated thing, like it turns into like this twisted, flashing, haunted house, and everything starts to go crazy. Household items start flying around, lights, items just crashing into them.
And they're in front of the painting of the Blanche.
Right, and
Blanche, which then it freaks out. It kind of looks like the cover of the movie. You're like,
yeah, the paintings start changing,
and
and I never really mentioned that. Is there were paintings of the cat around the house, so that the paintings are changing. Kung Fu is Professor.
Kung Fu is popping off, man. I love
Professor
it.
tells Kung Fu to attack the cat. Kung Fu starts doing like flying kicks into everything.
Yeah, she's like has a fight with the ghost, the Gorgeous ghost too, which is cool. Like,
Yeah.
she's fighting a ghost.
But
It's sick.
They also mentioned like we got to call the authorities, and they're like, well, the phone's broken. She's like, well, yeah, Gorgeous said that. Is it actually
Right.
broken?
So Kung Fu tries to call, and as she's doing that, the cable like flies in the air and starts to choke her, and then she ninja kicks that.
That's what she's trying to
Right.
fight through the house to get to that phone.
Yeah.
But then finally, Kung Fu meets her demise because a light fixture takes care of Kung Fu and eats her head, essentially.
Nah, she's not totally done yet, though.
Right.
Well, Right. That's right. Well, her head's still on the light fixture, I should say. So Kung Fu's legs go away from the light fixture and damage the painting of the cat. And that in turn kills the cat.
I think, Brian, you didn't do that justice at all. The severed legs, completely severed from Kung Fu's body, fly and do one last ninja kick.
Did a bicycle kick on
into a painting of the cat.
Yeah. And it was just like, Kung Fu is the best character. It's sad that she died, but she went out fighting a ghost house. Like,
but here's the thing about this scene. It is so just like, I don't know. There's so much going on that it's not coherent at all, and like you're not really sure like who's fighting what or what's like. That just scene made me mad because I'm not sure like what the actual. It's like everything kind of just gets jumbled together, and they were just like throw everything at the same time, so it makes no sense. And you're like, she gets her head stuck in the light thing for a while, and she's like swinging back and forth, right? And so the light thing is like holding her off the ground, and then all of a sudden she gets sucked into it, I think. And then her legs, just her waist down, come back out of the light fixture.
Didn't she see stuff when she was in there too?
Yeah, there's like all these body parts floating, and
like she saw her friends, like parts of their bodies and stuff like that. Was weird.
Yeah, but when her legs kick the painting, we see Gorgeous's or the aunt, I don't know at this point. She starts to like bleed, like so she damaged her, right?
Right, like her neck starts bleeding out.
Yeah. And
then this is when the cat, the professor's still trying to read from the book, the diary. And this is when the room starts flooding up with the blood from the painting. It starts spitting out. It just basically starts flooding the entire floor, and the girls, Professor and Fantasy, are just like hanging on to a single floorboard trying to float there, like still reading the diary. Cut to a Fantasy saying, "I wish Mr. Togo would save me," and cut to Mr. Togo meeting Mr. Watermelon Stand. And this weird scene, I didn't understand the context here. Maybe you guys can help me. That
I had no idea, man.
I had no clue.
That.
He basically like says like, you know, these girls they were hungry, or you know, they were fed, or I forget what he says exactly, but Mr. Togo does like a weird dance at him, and the watermelon guy just like falls backward and turns into a skeleton.
Yeah.
And his skull floats midair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Togo like flips out and does like a monkey thing, and then
he says bananas over and over again.
Well, he gets into his car. You don't find anything out yet. He's just like scared because the guy turned into a skeleton.
Right.
But they keep doing like the weird like rewind where he's like doing the same action over bumping himself on the head.
Right, and then
I don't get why that was the thing.
Well, he was saying bananas, and he was acting like a monkey kind of there.
Yeah. But like their demise, I don't understand why.
Well, yeah, I mean,
did you catch it whenever after Kung Fu kicks the painting of the cat, her legs get separated and go into drawers of a dresser?
Oh yeah, and they get
sorted.
Yeah, and then they go back and forth for some reason, like open and close. It's so weird.
There's just so much going on, dude. Like that's what I'm trying to remember. Like, like there was the whole thing of like when it kicked that. The cutscene of everybody's body parts floating around, of her talking to them, and like it's just there's so many random like rapid fire scenes. You know what I mean? Like there's just it's hard to keep track of everything. But Prof is trying to still read the diary, but a jar with I think like teeth in it pull her down into like the river of blood.
Yeah, she drops her glasses. She's trying to find him, and then that weird jar comes and pulls her in, and
it pretty much just dissolves her alive.
It wears her glasses too. After
it kind of looked like the Dune popcorn bucket.
Oh yeah. It's God. It's like a trimmer almost, but just like a weird. I don't know.
So she's dissolving away in the river of cat blood, and then Fantasy is just laying there while things are splashing around, and then finally, Gorgeous wanders down from the upstairs, and Fantasy just kind of floats over to her, and is so happy to see her. That like, oh, it wasn't true. You're not a ghost. You're alive, and just like hugs her like she's like her like a mother basically.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like there's that thing too. It's like there's so many weird themes going on in this movie. Like it's like the thing of like, relationships and friendships and like the mother thing here at the end.
It's a very weird scene.
Well, yeah, and she's like flashing to be like her aunt and also herself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a reflection of her aunt there. And then
I was gonna say she just like lays on her chest. Fantasy lays on
the rests on her chest. Yeah.
Rests on her chest and like kind of falls
Gorgeous
asleep.
chest.
And it just like zooms in to Gorgeous's face, like really slowly and just like really creepy. And the eyes start glowing green. And I'm like, it cuts right there. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
I guess that you could just say the house won.
There's
the
like,
end.
Right.
I mean, in a basic way of saying it, but they cut to the next morning and the stepmother arrives and she finds Gorgeous.
She's still looking angelic.
She's still floating
wind
around.
Blowing. Yeah, everything just,
In fact, there's like a scene of her like literally walking through the air, like just with the house in the background.
Grapes.
Yeah, we can't pass up that she sees where Mr. Togo's car is, and it appears that he has been turned into a pile of bananas.
But it's like, why?
His hat's on top of the bananas.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah,
that makes no sense. Yeah.
There's so much subtext here.
Well, you're like, if you remember all the way towards the beginning of the movie, they mention his it's like one of the last times you see the dad and the stepmother. She's like, oh, maybe I'll go up there and see her to get better acquainted with her. After she gets there, I'll give her a few days with her aunt, and then I'll go up and visit her.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying why did those two guys die? That's what I was talking about.
Well,
I was talking about how she showed up is really strange. I don't know if we made that connection. We didn't mention that like her stepmom was like, I'm going to go see her and make sure to make that connection with her. And so I thought the entire movie, her stepmom was like the evil one. But then all of a sudden she shows up and,
it could be, well, we could talk about this at the end because we're coming up on the end, but the stepmother gets there and sees Gorgeous still in the classic, like the old kimono, but she's acting like, not like otherworldly. They're just talking calmly basically, but,
she's not her normal self, clearly.
Right. Like there's something off. And she says, well, are all your friends still here? She goes, they're here. They're just sleeping, but they're going to wake up soon. They're going to be very hungry. So as you could tell, like they've all become either zombies or just like part of the house or whatever the case is. So that pretty much closes out the movie. And then we cut to like the 70s shot of like the fashion shots of everybody on the blue screen.
Doesn't she kill her stepmom?
Yeah.
Did they show that?
I think she sets her on fire.
That's right. The face is on fire. I forgot about that. So, and then they cut to the credits after that point. So
we just skipped over a whole person being immolated,
That's House, everybody.
That's it.
Oh my God. Thank you, Brian. That was
sorry for my convoluted thing. It's just this movie's so random.
It was a convoluted movie. It's okay. Yeah. So thank you, Brian, again. Let's go into the feedback of House. Jeff, do you want to start first?
Sure. I knew of this movie because of Brian. Like I said at the start, Brian and our other friend Jeff kind of were like, we gotta watch this. And it was just the first time I saw it, we were like partying and stuff and drinking, and it was the perfect movie for that. And then later I watched it again, and like I said, I showed my girlfriend it, and then we just watched it again for this. So I think this is probably like the fourth or fifth time I've seen it at this point. But I just remember it being crazy. I remember the poster of the cat like being really cool and it just being just like bonkers, I think is the word. So, yeah.
Thank you. Jordan, how about you? When you want to go next? Tell us about House, what you felt about it.
I suppose. So as I was watching, but more so immediately after I finished it, I honestly thought to myself, what the did I just watch? But after like sitting on it and like kind of thinking about it, because like there's a lot of things in there just like, wait, what was that? What was that? You do have to kind of dwell on certain things. I think I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I definitely will recommend it to people to watch. I do think that there's some certain scenes I was confused by. That piano song I got super annoyed by, but I did enjoy it overall. I did really enjoy it overall. And like clearly after reading that, like the director's daughter kind of like gave some inspiration towards this. It makes sense. And I think in a good way, like the childlike. It just seemed like a childlike kind of movie. Like it's something a child would come up with, but in a good way. Like, oh, I'm scared of mirrors. Like this guy's gonna turn into a pile of bananas. But like it works though for some reason. And then, like the special effects or practical effects weren't great, but I don't know if that's a matter of the time or low budget or just.
I think it's the time.
I think it's definitely a time. I know it's a time thing, but like I think that actually helps the movie because you're like, oh, it looks so ridiculous, especially like when Mac's head was floating around, or when Melody was like her parts of her body were like kind of floating around by the piano. You could see like the blue, but it's just so like bad looking. Is also like I also think it kind of helped.
Do you think that's because of the fact that we're watching it in a higher definition and like back then?
Probably.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Like you wouldn't be able to pick up on stuff like that like back then. But I mean, it's just weird, silly, over the top of points. So I do think it was mostly fun to watch. And it got goofier and goofier as time went on. I also don't know why the stepmom had that like presence to her, but I like that they stuck with it. I don't get the meaning behind that, but like I think it's kind of cool they kept sticking with that whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, I like it.
Thank you, Jordan. I'm gonna go next and let Brian go last since it was his movie. I said at the beginning, this movie had me on like a whole range of emotions. I think from the start, I was so annoyed by the whole movie leading up to them getting to the house. And I don't know if it's just because like the style or the time of the era like that was made in, but I think there's a lot of things that they were doing with like the animation in the backgrounds, like it had a 70s vibe in some cases. But now that you say the thing about the commercials, like totally makes sense. The director,
same, yeah,
that makes total sense to me now. A lot of that type of stuff, it's almost like it was separate commercials at certain points. Like with the bus ride and then this thing and then that, like the different parts of the movie broken down, you're like, oh, okay, that's totally what that was. Like it's almost like when they were walking through the woods and they were doing those like slow edits to their face or zoom into their face. It was like a double mint commercial that you'd see back in like 90s or 80s, or like a Mentos. Thank you, yeah. Mentos, yes. But like stuff like that, it makes sense. I think this movie is a perfect example of you have to watch the whole movie. And then, like Jordan said, like then think about it. Because like separately, the beginning, the first half, I was like, this is terrible. What the hell? And like I said, I was angry at some parts. Like when they're just like when they're walking through the woods, and I'm like, okay, just get there. This is annoying. Why did they drop them off in the middle of the field and just say, okay, there you go, see you girls? Why are they waiting for their teacher to come like the whole time? Like why did they make plans to go away with their teacher for the summer? That makes no sense. But it's in the 70s in Japan, maybe it did. I don't know.
Sure.
I think in general, the technology, the technology, like the cinematography and everything, this movie reminds me, like you could have told me this movie was made like last year and it was like a B film. Someone made it for YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I think I think it's better than those like type of B films that are coming out now by a lot of the B films. Like in general, I don't know if it's just because of how it's the story, how it's written and how it was put together. Like the sum of its parts, I think was really good. The sound, they needed to license another song. That song was annoying.
They needed to use the Kung Fu song more. I'm telling you, if you listen to the whole thing, the whole thing, it gets so good. I was like, man, I'm going to listen to this.
I have the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I liked about this movie that was interesting to me was in America, whenever we have a person who is Japanese or Chinese or Vietnamese or something from that side of the world, it's usually they're a person who is like very stereotypical. They're like they're good at math. They're a sidekick. They're like smart. They're a smart person. And I think it was cool to see different stereotypes in Japan and how they relate to stereotypes in America, like growing up. Like there are kids in Japan that are growing up that have these, that are fit into these weird boxes of how we all fit in when we were in high school. I think that was really
societal,
interesting. Yeah, like that societal side. Like I don't see that because I don't watch foreign films and crap like that. I mean,
crap like that. I don't watch that f***ing
I gotta read this movie.
I gotta read for 2 hours.
That's another thing that angered me. I don't want to read.
I would like American stereotypes.
Yeah, I don't like.
Wow.
I like.
What do you mean I gotta read this movie?
Holy
I gotta put down my Budweiser to read this movie. I don't really. I think in general, like that whole thing was interesting. The whole like it doesn't seem like it was from the 70s though. Weirdly enough, but overall, I was like, there are things I would take out, but I actually enjoyed it after I finished it. There were times I was angry and delighted and interested and like disturbed, but like I think in general, when you put it all together, I thought it was actually very, very interesting. I'm with Jordan. I'm not gonna watch this again, but if like there's a party somewhere, I'm like, hey, let's put this movie on. It's dumb as hell. Like we gotta watch this. It's stupid. And I would tell people about it. If it wasn't for some of the scenes, I would tell my students to watch this movie because it's weird. You know, like I would go up to our media department with all the media kids hang out and say, hey, you guys got to watch this movie. This is nuts. I don't think I can, but I would, tell them.
Wasn't this movie like financially or like not successful, but like it's since considered like a cult classic?
Yeah, it's in the cult classic now. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's in the Criterion collection. You don't just get in there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It got stamped.
Yeah, I think it got listed as like a list of as 160 out of 200 Japanese films of all time or something crazy like that, and like best haunted house movie, top 20 all time best haunted house movies. So
I would definitely put it in the top 20 for sure.
Yeah. Brian, you're up.
Yes.
What do you give us your feedback? For House?
So watching this movie again and going through all these scenes and everything and reading like into like the subtext with like the anti-war messages and the themes of like separation and relationships and like childhood and like you guys were saying like how the director looked to inspiration to his daughter for like these childhood wonder things of like what's scary, what would be in a haunted house. I think why this movie stuck with me aside from like its weirdness is like a haunted house in itself is just a really random collection of scary elements. And so when you make a scary movie, or if you're trying to make a scary movie, you usually focus on one primary evil or whatever. And there was one in this film. It was the aunt or whatever you want to call the house. But there were a lot of different elements to the house being scary. And I think that's why, because it's so random and because it's so different, that's why it stands out to this day. I think if you tried to make a movie like this now, you couldn't. Well, you could try, but I don't think you could hit that same tone that they did in the 70s. So that's why, to me, I think this movie stands out to this day. And like, again, I totally get if this is a weird movie. There's a lot of weird visuals, little audio cues. There's a lot of like Looney Tune type stuff happening. That's not your taste. I totally get that. But it's worth a watch at least once, whether you love or hate, because it's something to talk about after. It's that.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
It's a different kind of film. There's not another film like it. There's not many like it.
Even just like the death scenes of some of them, you got to watch.
Yeah. It just stands out.
But like, I think like the piano one, pretty awesome.
Piano
was great.
The wellhead.
Wellhead.
Yeah. The ant going into the ice box or the refrigerator.
The refrigerator.
Yeah.
Some of the dancing shots, the eyeball mouth. There's just a lot of cool like visuals. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, the severed kung fu kick, probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Flying dismembered legs.
Yeah.
The turtle thing, that was wild.
What turtle thing?
Flying turtle.
All of us were just like, what the hell is he talking about? Turtle thing?
What?
Did I miss a turtle?
I had a stroke.
There's some weird things with like with Gorgeous and the light balls in the field, which, Jordan, what were those things called we talked about in Mysterious Pals with the light balls?
Wisps?
Will-o'-the-wisps.
Will-o'-the-wisp. Yeah, that's what it
They're
was.
will-o'-the-wisps.
Yeah, okay.
Are they like spirits of the woods?
Yeah, what was that though in the movie?
I don't know.
She just liked to juggle. I don't know.
It was she was absorbing energy. I don't know. Who cares?
She's a juggalo.
Yeah, oh boy, again.
She
I'm
went
looking at
chicken
an
hunting.
I'm looking at an Entertainment Weekly top 20 list for best haunted house, and it's number 5 on that.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What's above it? It's probably The Shining. I'm guessing.
The Evil Dead, The
Evil Dead
Uninvited,
2.
The Innocents, and then number 1 is The Changeling.
The Changeling's good.
Isn't the Changeling about that one episode you did, Jordan?
That's what I thought.
Well, there's a couple of Changelings.
Okay.
Well, it's the 1981. Anyway, I'll send you guys a link to this. All right.
A couple things changed.
Because there's a Changeling. It's like what's that one older guy that does El Torino, Gran Torino?
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he did a Changeling movie a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
What's that old guy with the movie, the car? Oh, yes, that one, Chris.
Christine.
All right, let's go around and do the rating for House. So, Jeff, what do you give House?
Yeah, I mean, it's this crazy, nothing else quite like it, psychedelic comedy horror movie that, I can't even imagine if I were alive in the 70s and like a little older and went to see this, it probably would have been like my favorite movie of all time because it would have been so nuts compared to everything else. But now, with the lens of 2025 and a million years later, it still holds up as being bonkers. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I will probably watch it again. It's not something I'm going to turn on all the time, but like you guys said, it's an easy movie to be like, hey, you should probably watch this. It's crazy. So,
Jordan, what do you give House?
Give it a thumbs up. It's for me, I've never seen anything like this, so for me, it's a kind of original kind of experience. It's absurd. It's off the wall. It goes to great extremes, and it's fun. It's definitely fun to watch.
Fun is yeah.
So,
you won't be bored,
for
that's for sure. Yeah.
No.
I am going to give it also a thumbs up. I know.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. I think, although I said I won't watch it again, I was upset by some things, but I think if I had friends over, I would put it on because it's one of those weird movies that should be seen by everybody once. So I do also give it a thumbs up. I thought it was, especially for its time, super interesting. When you find out it's from 1977, you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So,
yeah.
Brian, what do you give House?
Well, obviously, I have to give it a thumbs up because I picked it and I really like this movie. But I am
what
actually.
If you didn't, though? What if you
I know. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
And it would have been just as weird as this movie. So, yeah. This is one of my all-time favorite weird movies, but it's a fun weird movie. It's not like I don't know. It's like
Greasy
a weird
Strangler.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that one's a little more risque, I would say. Even though this one's a little, has its moments. I would say House is a ridiculous fun movie that if you're up for it and you're looking for like a fun horror musical comedy, I don't know, just surrealist film, this is definitely one to check out. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up, man. So
House gets a fist. I'll be emailing a picture of my fist to the director of House and his kids, probably. I also just looked up highest grossing films in 1977 because I was wondering what was going on in film in 1977 in America.
Yeah.
That's like a crazy year.
Give me the top 5.
So, Star Wars, Smoking the Bandit,
geez.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Saturday Night Fever, and The Spy Who Loved Me are all released in 1977.
Wow.
That's
I've
crazy.
never seen Saturday Night Fever. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
I have.
Oh,
What'd you
Pete's
think?
Dragon? Pete's Dragon was that year?
It's dark,
really?
man. It makes it seem like it's a fun movie. It's not a fun
Sad.
movie.
Oh, Slapshot? Yeah, all right. Damn, this was a good year.
That's crazy how many good movies came out, or how many like movies that are like considered like
Greatest
important.
of all time.
Dude, it's hard to, Star Wars was like, how do you compete
New Hope,
with that?
dude.
Yeah. And that's and then Smoking the Bandit was number 2, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Close
Star
Encounters
Wars
of the
made
Third
more
Kind.
than double of Smokey and the Bandit, which is insane to think about.
All right, so that's a 4 thumbs up for House, a pal fist in the mail.
Oh,
So next week,
No.
So next week, Jordan is up with our next movie. What do you got for us next time on the Watch Pals, Jordan?
We watching and talking Stay Tuned, a 1992 movie starring John Ritter, the late great John Ritter.
Oh, John Ritter. What a special man.
Why are you picking Stay Tuned?
I don't know.
All right.
I've never heard of Stay Tuned. I don't even know what you're talking about. Honestly, I've never.
Well,
I don't even know.
Hey, guess what, guys? Stay tuned. You'll find out.
Have you seen it before, Jordan?
I had, but it's been a long time. I actually kept trying to. I remember for like a while I was trying to Google it, and the premise is kind of like clicked. Well, not exactly like clicked, that Adam Sandler movie, but that's what movie that kept coming up when I was trying to Google this movie. Eventually, I was able to figure out what it's called. It's called Stay Tuned, not Adam Sandler movie. So
have you seen this, Brian or Jeff?
I've seen this like 20 times.
Okay.
I love this movie.
I've only seen it one other time, and it was when I was hanging out with my lady, and we had a hotel room, and it was just like on TV, and she was like all excited. She was like, "Oh, we gotta watch it!" And then I watched it. I was like, "Oh, cool!" So I won't.
What channel was it on? Was it on like?
I don't remember.
Cool!
Like TBS or something?
One of the hotel channels.
Definitely TBS.
Oh, cool!
Listen, I don't want to just be like, it sucked or I loved it. You got to listen to the episode, okay? Jesus
cool.
Christ!
Oh, great!
All right, so next week we're watching Stay Tuned. And
First, second, next.
Please leave a comment on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps us out. Please connect with us on social media. All those links can be found in the show notes below. If you have any questions or suggestions for a future movie, please send us an email at watchpals.show. I'm sorry, at watchpals@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at watchpals.show, which is our website. We want to thank Ben Miller for our logo art and Jeff for our graphic design.
Hey, you're welcome.
I want to thank Brian for being here, for driving our ship this week. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for having me once again, and thank you for listening to my rantings. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff, for being here.
Hey, you're welcome.
And Jordan, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, kick rocks.
Hey, suck an egg.
Hey, kiss.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Thank all you out there in Watchland. Until next time, please set your watches for the next episode of the Watch Pals. Good night.
Oy vey.
Oh boy, it's the Watch Pals.
And
Stop.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm shaking.